Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. This is Rain. I'm your moderator. Welcome to Cold Brew and Review. If this is your first time here, Cold Brew and Review is a monthly webinar series hosted by our in-house Bluebeam expert, David Campbell. Our goal here is to share some tips, tricks, and some best practices for all things Bluebeam and help you navigate any of the obstacles that you might be facing. We're a little bit casual here, so this is not going to be a stuffy presentation. We're just a couple of friends hanging out on our coffee break.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Rain.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to another Bluebeam Cold Brew and Review. I'm really excited to have you all here, and I'm, super excited that we can keep doing these and providing value to anyone who utilizes Bluebeam Review. Now, for today, this is going to be kind of a part 2, right? We talked about Bluebeam Cloud last month, our last presentation, and we talked about some of the different features that are there. Well, what we haven't got into yet really is kind of some of the inner workings of Bluebeam Cloud and how to kind of prepare our documents for when they're going into the cloud. So on that note, today's agenda, we're really going to be focusing on getting those documents ready. I'm going to talk about some things that I have seen as I've gotten to dive into Bluebeam Cloud a little bit and how we can utilize Bluebeam Review to kind of improve what we can do in Bluebeam in the cloud. So as we do with every webinar, I wanted to take a second and introduce us as Topcon Solutions. Now, Topcon Solutions is the direct sales retail division of Topcon Positioning Systems. We do have 13 brick and mortar locations in the US, but I think that, like I said, I think that is going to be 15 soon. So I think I need to go back and update this slide. But Topcon traditionally sold products through a channel of independent specialty dealers since the early 2000s, but many factors have contributed to the change in this model. And really, TSS or Topcon Solution Stores really represent this change as a consolidation of formerly independent dealers into a national manufacturer direct retail organization. So, as Topcon Solutions, we offer a new kind of modern model for servicing the civil construction and the vertical construction marketplaces that the older independent dealers couldn't really provide. So we really focus a lot, let me go back here for a second, we really focus a lot on our partnerships with Autodesk, with Bluebeam in this case, to really offer the full solution for our clients. So that's kind of why you see solutions as our middle name there. We really look to provide the solutions for any workflow from getting out from the office to the field, okay? So in saying that, today, again, I'm David Campbell. I'm a senior application specialist with Topcon Solutions, and we're gonna dive in to the Bluebeam Cloud. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit escape here to get out of my slideshow, and I'm gonna tab over to our Bluebeam Cloud. So one of the big things that I wanted to talk about today is we talked about during the last webinar about documents and about drawings and different ways that we can start getting things up here, right? But a big thing that I wanted to make sure I mentioned, documents here in Bluebeam Cloud, this is for storing any of your documents, and essentially that's going to be different from what we're seeing in drawings. So if I go into like my LTU documents here, and I click on one of my PDFs, you'll notice that it actually gives me the capability to do that one full page or scrolling pages view of these PDFs. So I get to look through all of the different pages within this PDF document. If we go to drawings, you're going to notice that essentially what drawings does is it pulls these PDF sets apart into individual drawings and places them here. Now, it is going to run OCR over those drawings. It's going to try to find the actual information here. in terms of what is in the drawing itself, like our sheet name, our sheet number, things like that. So one thing to think about is, you know, is the document capable of giving us that information, like the C107 here striping plan, or the A1.1.1. This one obviously is a little big, but it's saying sheet title and number, first floor plan. Is that document going to be able to give us that? So one thing that I do want to mention before we even push it up to drawings is typically I do like to go into review and actually run the OCR on that document. So if I go into my raster drawing here, and I do have a raster sample, I was going to kind of go into showing you guys how this works today. And I plan on doing just a little bit of everything here with you guys to talk about getting these documents ready and getting them up to the cloud. So on something like this, where you're going to see it's a scanned document, right? It's a scanned document. That's exactly what this is. I typically try to go to OCR. Now, since it's in my project, I'm going to need to check that out. And then I can go ahead and run OCR on that to try to see if I can pull some of those graphics or some of this information from the content of this PDF, okay? Now, we're going to dive deeper into that workflow here in a second, but I want to back up because the other piece that I need to talk about here when we're looking at drawings is the revisions, right? So in this case with my door schedule, you'll notice that it did say R1 on it here. And some of the other ones I wanted to mention here, I'm going to go ahead and show this to you guys so you can see exactly how this works. But one big thing that I've noticed within within Cloud is that it does not give you the capability to like compare your drawings if it's one revision to the next. And it also doesn't really stack them. It pretty much replaces the drawing with the revised sheet, which is a good thing, for going out to the field. We don't want them to accidentally open a older drawing, so that is fine. But at the same time, for managing that documentation, for managing that set, it's not going to tell us the version in that sense here. It can tell us in the sheet name if you have numbered it that way, or it might have the R1 here for us, but it's not really going to give us the capability to roll back or see the changes between the two different versions. That is still where Bluebeam Revu, like the desktop version, is going to really shine still, right? In this case, you guys will notice what I did is I created a project. I created a project here in Revu, and I've hosted my construction set drawings, my raster drawing, my different revisions, and then my vector drawing. I'm going to go ahead and start going through the process of uploading these drawings into the cloud so we can see exactly what it's going to do and how it's going to act. Now, before I do that, let me go ahead and go into my uploads here. You'll notice that when you go to upload drawings, it'll actually show you right here what the upload date was, how many pages. You're going to have to publish this. You would need to come in here, and you'll notice I have my vector sample and that rasterized sample here already. I previously went through and uploaded these, and I wanted to kind of show you guys what this looks like here within the cloud. So you're going to notice on the second floor reference plan here, if it's vectorized, or I'm sorry, if it's rasterized, essentially, it's going to kind of pixelate. This is my vector sample, but you can go ahead and see that we can start getting some information in terms of what is your sheet number. You'll notice the revision here, the sheet name, the discipline. This is the basic information that we can go ahead and start utilizing here in the cloud, okay, or adding to that document. So I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel here really quick, and I'm going to go back to published. So to add drawings here into the cloud, we would need to go ahead and hit add drawings. Now, as I talked about in the previous webinar, we do have the capability to import drawings from integrations or from Studio. So in this case, since I did make that cloud project, I can go ahead and grab right into that project, and I can go ahead and find my revisions. Now, in this case, I'm going to grab these 4 just because I have not uploaded the new version of that, which I will go ahead and look for. Let me go ahead and hit cancel here really quick because I realized I do not have that one in there yet. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this one from my browse files. And I'm going to grab my second floor reference plan. You're going to see it's going to run through and it's going to process this on its own. So this is a very simple one to do. It's kind of why I went to this, because it really only has one sheet. So it shouldn't take too long to do this. But essentially, we wait until it's ready, and then we can go ahead and hit ready for review. And you'll see that it takes you in here. It's going to ask us the sheet name, the sheet number, the title's already here, which in this case, if I wanted to tell what the number was, I could just come down here, and obviously this is going to be a 1.2.0. So a 1.2.0. Oh gosh, sorry about that. Now, the other interesting thing there is that email kind of threw me off a little bit, but it's actually kind of nice in this case as well. When we do upload drawings, you're going to see that it automatically will email you anytime these new drawings are uploaded. And I'm going to go ahead and say this is a 1.2.0. Okay. And once we have finished entering in that information, we can come back here. We can say, place a revision comment, anything like that, but we go ahead and publish that sheet. Now we will see that sheet here within our drawings. And I'll give it a second here. There we go. But now I should be able to go ahead and mark up on this drawing. You'll see that we can zoom in on it. It's still going to have that same rendering capability there that we see within Review. It's going to render for us to give those really good graphics for us, right? Now, let me go ahead and go back here. I'm going to add some more drawings. This time I'm going to pull them in from my project. And I wanted to do this so you guys could see exactly what's going to happen when we go ahead and set these revisions. So I have my different revisions here. I'm going to check all 5 of these, and I'm going to confirm my selection. What you're going to see is it's going to run through just like the others. It's going to tell us that it's ready for review. So we got to wait until it's done processing. We can go ahead and review it to make sure and see, double check what data it did publish or it pulled out of that document, and then essentially fill in the rest. All right, so they are ready for review. We can go ahead and click right on there. So we're going to see Rev 1, and it's telling us the numbers here from each one of those sheets. Now on this one here as well, it's telling me the second floor reference plan, Rev 1, and it knows. So you guys can see right here, it's saying this one is the initial upload. I'm curious to see if I might have deleted that other one out, but essentially you'll notice all below it'll say the revision number here. Now, I could have also put it in the revision comments, but you'll see in each one of these, R1, R1, R1. So that's telling us that this is the revision. This is the revised drawing. So at this point, we are able to go ahead and navigate around that drawing. We can make markups on it, all that kind of stuff. But the other big piece that I wanted to make sure we talked about here is the actual management of this documentation. A lot of times, guys, I'm still going to say that projects is essentially the way to go if you're trying to use a cloud-based solution. Otherwise, you could still use Bluebeam Review locally to go ahead and open up these drawings, right? Insert in or slip sheeting those revisions. That workflow is still going to need to be done within Bluebeam Review. All right, so if you do have that extreme version, or in the case of the subscription, you will need the core or the complete. If you're trying to slip sheet, you're going to need complete. But if you're trying to utilize Studio and the cloud, Bluebeam Cloud, you will need that core subscription, okay? But again, we don't have a lot of those document management tools themselves here within the cloud. A lot of that is still going to be done here within Review. So in this case, if I had my construction set and I wanted to slip sheet these in and enter them in, what I would end up doing is I'm going to go ahead and check out this drawing here, or my document set, and I'll open up construction set B. Now, this, guys, is a little tip, and I usually like to talk about this one when we talk about studio, and especially when we get into projects. There is a preference setting that you can utilize. So if I go to batch and I go to slip sheet, I'm going to add my current files. And I'm going to say construction set B, and I'm going to go ahead here and add my files. Now you'll see that automatically this knows I'm going to go to my project. So I can go right into my revisions, and I can grab the 4 revisions from this document. Now, some of you may be asking, before I go ahead and go into that, some of you may be asking, Dave, how did you get that dialog box up? That is under your review preferences. Review preferences. And then you want to go to Studio. Here, there is a setting called Open and Save Files to Studio from Toolbar Only. If you uncheck that, automatically when you go File Open or anything like that, it's now going to give you the capability to navigate to your different projects. Okay, so this is a way to still interact with those documents that are held on the cloud. So again, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go to Batch, I'm going to go to Slip Sheet, and this is in Review 21, by the way, guys. I'm going to go Open Files, Add Files here. I'm going to go into my revisions. Again, I'm going to grab those 4 drawings, and I'm going to check those out on the open here. Oh, there it goes. Okay. It's just taking a second for me. All right, so now that I have those drawings, I can go ahead and specify how I'm going to match them up, which typically I'd like to use that page region. And I don't like to utilize the cover page, so I'll go a couple sheets in. And what I'm doing here is essentially choosing to specify that region where this is going to look to match these pages up. And when I go to match pages, it's going to look through the entire construction set B, all 48 pages, to look for where these will match. Again, this is the slip sheeting tool. Now, what I can do with this is go ahead and either insert the revised pages before or replace them with the current, replace the current pages with the revised. Now, if I go insert before, this is where I can utilize that stamp superseded, right, to essentially mark that they are or they have been superseded. Now, if I'm going up to the cloud, I don't want to insert those in. Why? Because it'll actually take those documents. Any other documents that you add within that set, they're also going to go up there. And I mean, in this case, you can utilize the like the superseded drawings. You would just have everybody use a filter. But again, if we're trying to simplify things, this is a great tool for, you know, like I said, bringing in the revisions and being able to manage the document and see all the different revisions. It's all based on, you know, the workflow that you're trying to achieve here. For me, I know I'm going to take this up to cloud, so I'm going to go ahead and replace these, and then I'm going to go ahead and say OK. Now it's going to go through. It has insert and slip sheeted those 4 pages in there for me. Now it did give me a batch summary to kind of tell me where it went and what it did, but I can just go right here into construction set B. If I open up my thumbnails, I should be able to see, yeah, there's my revision. My title block's all weird. So is that one. There we go. So there's my different revisions. So those sheets have been brought in. I can go ahead and check this back in, say all right. Now that that's been done, I can go ahead, add drawings, import them in from Studio, grab my Bluebeam Cloud, my construction set B here. And then what you'll notice is it's going to take just a couple minutes here to bring these up. But essentially, it'll run through that entire document to pretty much do the same thing that we saw here with those revisions, right? It's going to look for any parent sheets that have the same name or the same sheet number. It's going to look for that different revisions. for the different revision and allow us to specify the notes or any notes that we may need for that specific revision. All right, so while those are processing, the other big piece I wanted to quickly talk about was if you do run into scanned drawings, okay, so those are ready to go, but I'll take a second here to talk about these scanned drawings. So in this case, my raster sample, I'm gonna hit no here to open that up. And what you'll notice is it's a scanned document, right? It's kind of rough. In this case, if we go into document, oh, I need to unlock it. Yep, need to check it out first. I'm going to go to document and then I'm going to run OCR on this. Say okay. The big thing that I wanted to do before I'm going to save this into my project, but before I bring that up into my drawings here, I wanted to talk about this really quick, just because you're not going to get it perfect. I'm not going to tell you that the OCR is not going to essentially transition an entire scan document. If it's a bad scan, you're going to have some issues. If it's a really good clean scan, then yeah, you're going to be able to pull some more information from that. The big thing that I wanted to say here, though, is when I go to publish this, notice right now, this is my initial upload, right? And this is that raster sample. This raster sample, it doesn't know what it is. It doesn't know the title, anything like that. So let me go ahead and cancel that out really quick. If I go to add drawings now, and I'm just going to grab my raster drawing here. And we're going to let that finish processing. Now, again, the reason that we do run OCR is in this case, if I wanted to go ahead and snapshot, or if I wanted to edit any text or anything like that within the drawing, it's going to give me the capability to do that, right? And the big thing about that, the big reason why I'm looking to do it here, now you'll see it's still not giving me a really good name and a number for this. So one of the best ways to do this is just to go in, look inside of that sheet if you can, and then go ahead and pull the say this is a 1.2.0.
David, we had a question that it may be related to what you're showing here on the screen. Someone's asking, can you import sets, for example, a .bex file?
That is a great question. I am going to test that out. And yeah, thank you. I think that might be a good future cold brew and review. All right, everyone. Again, thank you so much for attending. You guys are the reasons that we do this. Again, thank you for the feedback. And if you have any questions or you have other feedback, feel free to send that in to info@topconsolutions.com. If you guys are interested in trying the new version of Review, maybe you're not ready to, move up yet, you just want to check it out. They do have a free trial. You can download it from visiting this link right here. And of course, if you do the trial for 21, I believe that you do get a trial for Cloud. So you can always try that out as well and see if it's what you're looking for.
Next time we hang out will be December 7th. And the topic is managing RFIs in the cloud. And there's a registration link if you want to go ahead and jump on that. All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks so much.